Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the Game 1, the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play-by-ear match against AsuRob. He's a light commander and for me this is the Empire of Japan. October 2nd, 42. I try to bring in the first and second Japanese tank division army to east of Australia to overall I try to bring in more tank units to Australia because it's open clear terrain. It's best suitable area for tank movement and armies, not India with the jungle and all this of this. Allied submarine get 2 hits in the port of Saipan by my local mines sweeper. I'm still waiting for the upgrades to have type 2 depth chargers, so I can really go for sub hunting. There are ships at Norfolk Island. The Chinese are dying, so I do not even need to send out any army troops because I also have nothing left there. Only enough to make the garrison. The mountains is other topic. And Rob is shifting his attack from Bundaberg, where he suffered heavy casualties, now back to units in the field. Make more sense, I would say, for him, if he cannot break my cap. Again, no land battle. So fast upturn today. So maybe time to talk about some other logistic stuff for A&D. Because I make a mistake, I think, last turn. Not a super big mistake, but cost me 1 month's A&D time. So first, light air losses, balanced. Simply because I lose 4 Bettys by ops loss. That is not good. And 2 killed pilot, 2 wounded pilots. Yeah, Bettys are still a little paper thin built. No ships sinking sound, so maybe the cargo ship at Karachi is still alive, really? I didn't expect that. Good. So because it's a new month, maybe we can check here the numbers a little more carefully. Air losses, you can see that it's roughly 5,000 to 1,000 a little, becoming closer to 5-to-1 kill ratio. Don't ask me why, but it is like this. And anyway, of course, the reported numbers destroyed here is at 5,891. Yeah, so we have already 900 over reported kills here. Keep this in. So these numbers are a little higher. but I would still say that you can see that Rob is using a lot of army fighters. What makes sense, and P40E and Arakoba is never the best dogfighter, but it's the best what the American army have. F4F is also okay, but yeah, it's okay. It's the same level like a M2, but maybe not so good like a M5, and it will be outclassed with the M8. Naja. What is a little high is here the amount of B-17s destroyed. I mean, even if the number is too high, maybe it's only 150 or 160, that is a lot of 4-engine bombers destroyed. And on top, you have also the Liberators, which is also 4-engine bombers. Good. And for me, it is still main. No, for Japan, yeah, you can see the M2s, they are not more. Now they're out of the front line. The M5s are taking maybe sooner or later this spot. The M4s are the land based option of the M5, more or less. The M4, M5, more or less, I think they're the same. Only carrier based and not carrier based. And so the M4 is a shorter range but more heavily armed. And yeah, you can see the rest. I have still some air groups destroyed. I don't really remember more why. So yeah, they went down with the cruisers. Yeah, makes sense. I don't really care. This is just too little equipment that don't need to be cared. It's hard to read this kind of numbers, but I think you can see that Japan won 2.4 million sorties and the Allies only 600,000. That is strange. This means that my Japanese air fleet is much more active than the Allies. Sure. Ship sunk. Maybe updated information. I mean, for me, nothing will really change because my numbers are always true. So I still lost a light carrier, 3 of my heavy tankers, 2 light cruisers, and other equipment. Also 3 other fast tankers, and some better APs and AKs, and a little more. If I focus only on military equipment, you can see some torpedo boats, some destroyers, the better one. Overall, I would say this is okay, nothing too crazy. The Allies now reported Enterprise sunk. Who knows? So far, the reported for early October reported Enterprise, a British carrier, and Charlotte sunk. So, plus a bunch of battleships. This is my points. Oh, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battleships are reported sunk. They're good for shelling, of course. The fast battleships have maybe, and battle cruisers have maybe more use because you can really hunt down the enemy. The speed is at the end also important. There was also this SST, submarine transport. So it's a submarine cargo ship. I think it's a submarine for special operations to unload or to get marines to a very far away island. If you really can use it, I don't know. And a lot of other stuff. Maybe most important is how many submarines sunk so far for the Allies. A bunch. And destroyer escorts? No. APDs? No. Destroyers? Yeah, some. Okay, good. So far for losses. Um, I would say air ratios are very good. I think this is nearly the top what can ever be achieved. A little too high, but yeah. Land war is 1 to 15. That is also very good at this stage of the war. Ship sunk is also in my favor with roughly, let's say, 4 to 1. Yeah. Um, Pool wise, I have army fighters still in the pool because you can never upgrade really or resize the army fighters or air wings, but the navies, I have never enough pilots. Uh, so I have some army pilots that they have enough, mainly fighters and bombers, but also recon. That is never issue. Japanese army is always uh, not so under pressure. The Navy is always short on pilots. No bomber, no fight. But this is also mean, this is related to you can increase the sizes of air wings for the Navy double, triple. So you have so much demand that you can never fill your air wings completely. And first, if all air wings are full, I would build up the reserve. So it's not that I lose a lot of pilots or lost or missing. I miss them only simply because I don't get enough new pilots replacements. You can see 200 per month. If I lose maybe 20 or 30 pilots per month, so I have still 150 to join the new training air wings, but I have maybe a demand for 3,000 pilots still on the map. I don't know. Then this needs more time. Good. Uh, so shipbuilding program, not really anything changed. Submarines are always on hold, so I have 27 submarines already on hold. No one will. I told them don't build this, don't invest any money in this kind of equipment. Destroyers are coming slowly but steadily. Oops. Still some. These are all the first class destroyers, and here in summer of 43, latest the second class, the Matsu class destroyers are coming. These are really only escort destroyers. They are not frontline, they don't have the firepower to be a frontline destroyer, but they can provide anti-aircraft and anti-submarine equipment. If these guys must in the surface engagement, I think they will lose anyway. But they still have good torpedoes. So for attack against heavy cruisers or battleships is maybe still useful, at least at night. And I don't know. These guys have already air radar. Okay, good. Cruiser wise, slowly I will get a heavy cruiser in end of the month more or less. This is still Tone class. This is now the only heavy cruiser under production. So a heavy cruiser with a big air wing, so Navy search, that is nice. The only problem with this cruiser is a low cruise speed, but a good top speed. The light cruisers I still like more because they have the high cruise speed. So I can run them with the next generation of carriers together and keep them or maintain this cruise speed. So I don't must burn a lot of fuel and still can cover a lot of distance. And the firepower is still great. It's even enough to penetrate a heavy cruiser armor belt. Barely, but possible. So 100mm belt armor I can penetrate with this kind of weapons on distance even. But of course 75mm belt armor is just enough to stop a 6-inch gun shell, but not 8-inch. But there must be a compromise. The battleships are all on hold, but sooner or later I have to start them because there's an upgrade for all of these ships in, I think, May of 43. So it means at that time I would say it's okay. If you have air, search radar, and surface radar, then I can use this kind of ships at night time. I would say even with allied ships. But I need a radar for bad weather and nighttime engagement. Still, I really don't like it too much. It's too expensive. But okay. And the carriers are coming. I push more or less the last one first, so I get everyone done in 43. Summer 43, I hope I have all carriers done, and then I have 2 full carrier fleets can fight independently around the map. Good. At the same time, the ANDs, first I can maybe check here. So the H45 will soon be ready for production. Need 1, 2, 3, 4, need 6, 7 days more. Then I can start to produce these air engines. Then I must build up the 500 pool that I get the engine bonus. Then I will swap all of these 4 factories to 43 engines, because this engine I also need. And you can see that it's up to now beginning of 45. That is too far away. I need to push this even more. Once I have finished the 43, I must push for the 42. But the 42 is the low priority engine so far for me. Why I need the 45? The 45 I need because I sooner or later require them for the George. The George will come, I don't say immediately, but you can see maybe in February of 43 I can introduce the George, I would say maybe. And here I need the engine bonus. And this is only George 1, I need then the George 2, 3, 4, 5. I must more or less finish them all, that I don't must rebuild the factories non-stop again and again. And the George have the same like with the 0M, the A6. You have always a carrier base, land base, carrier base, land base, carrier base. And this also, for the torpedo bombers I need the H45. This is H43, but also the Frank needs the H45. So the Frank is a little more far away because of the 44 design, but I need the H45 in engine bonus sooner or later. The Peggy needs the H42. That is a little, but this is also still a little far away. The Tony, that's I never will produce, but I need the Tony 100. Here is luckily the H33. But the Tony 100 will also be, I think, the same time the George will be online, the Tony will be online. So maybe winter 43, the Tony will be online, and then up to summer of 43, I don't know at what time Frank will be online, but I think not before summer of 43. So 6 months the Tony can take over. What I have now under production and will take over the army fighters are the Tojo 2C. The Tojo is not bad and can always fight together with the Key 100. The problem is that the Tojo is really not a fighter bomber. So the Key 100 is a true fighter bomber and you can use it for everything. Defense, offense, escort, sweeping, and the Tojo is more or less, I would say, a more defense fighter. Good, and you can also see this is a production run. The M8 is also getting now in numbers. And the issue is, I don't know if you can see it here, I have the M4, this is the upgraded M4G, but I don't want to switch to that guy because it's only a small upgrade. And what is the next is the M8G. And the MG8 is already nearly finished, but I can already explain it. I think next turn I will hit the 100 or something like this. And then I switch them over to other A&D stuff. But the game requested that you have 101 points to use them actively for production. So A&D 100 is not finished. You need 101. That is of course a little shitty, but that cost me now more or less 1 month. Because we are already in October. Blue means you are in the last month, or 1 month away from introduction. You can see, means next month would be the introduction, November. And if I want to cut this down now to October, I need here 101 points, not 100. And that is a mistake on my side. I simply swap them all at 100. And this means I have to wait to introduce the M8G up to November, because once I change it, I cannot go back more. It's a one-way ticket. Good, I think this is also fine. And you can see I have now enough supplies in Tokyo, so I will start now to ship more and more equipment out and restock my positions in India and Australia. And yeah, I need maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but then I can maybe push once again here in Australia. I must only keep an eye on Rob, what he's trying to do here. There's also this kind of fleet at Norfolk I must maybe take care. But my carriers are just back in Nomaya. Needs some rest and refit. So maybe I send some surface raiders to take care of this issue. Problem is, you can see Nomaya is less than triple supply. Less than triple supplies means that your training will not work well. So I need normally in this base at least 35,000 supplies to have working training. With this kind of stuff, you can see, depending, weather can always have an impact, but you don't get this the stress level up. If your pilots are on training, have no stress, means they don't fly because there's some issue with weather or not enough supplies. And training only works correctly if you have triple the requested supplies, and this means I need 35,000 or I have no training in this base. No efficient training, only 10% training, something like this. Good, see you next time, take care, bye bye.